Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our second episode of Mompreneur podcast. And today is a very special day because I have someone that's very special for me here in the studio, and her name is Ainhoa Garcia. So, Ainhoa, I know you've done amazing things in your career. You've reached so many milestones, but I want you to tell me what season of life personally are you in right now?
Thank you for having me, friend. What season? I am in a season of discovery. Becoming a mom has been like if you think of opening a box that you can have maybe had in your house and you knew it was there, you didn't really know where you were going to find if you open it. That's what I'm doing. I'm opening this box and I'm exploring every day. All his firsts are my first too. I find myself crying over the smallest thing, smiling over things that they're so ordinary, and discovering this part of me that we put ourselves into this working mode, this survival mode. I can say that as an immigrant, I have been on survival mode for a long time. So being in discovery mode is exciting. I have a lot of curiosity. Fear tried to come in too, but I'm in this discovery time. And thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no, thank you.
I do hope it's the most special one of all.
It is. They're all special in their way, but you're definitely special. You know why? Because we share a lot. We go way back. And I think that a lot of our journey is very similar, especially because I'm an immigrant too. So I think that even in the beginning where we still didn't know each other, we automatically bonded because of that. Yeah. And we came here a little bit older, right? We came here as young adults. Like I think how old were you when you came?
20.
You were 20. Mm-hmm. I was 19. So I think we definitely have that in common. But I love to see you in this season because if I know I was already amazing, I mean, motherhood does something that it brings out just all kinds of superpowers, and it amplifies what you already are. It's been a real blessing to see that happening to you. And from my eyes, somebody that loves you so much, I'm so happy that you have this moment and that you have your son. So let me, it's too soon to start crying. So let me bring it back. Thank you for sharing. I'm happy that you're in this season. How does this season help you when we talk about pulling you a little bit into the business side of things? Like how has your newfound version of yourself has helped you, especially as a leader? Because I don't know if you feel like there's a parallel between, being a parent, being a mother, and leading. But what are your thoughts on that?
I'm actually very glad you mentioned that. I've always been a mom to others. I've been a mom to my clients. I've been a mom to industry partners. I've been a mom to my friends. I've been a mom all my life because I don't know who gave me that responsibility or why I took it when I was a little girl. So seeing that other side of being a real mom to someone that was inside of you and now you have to keep alive.
Channeling that energy, right?
Just being a mom there. But I am very comfortable being a leader. I'm very comfortable being in a room where I have to make decisions or organize things for others and help them grow. So now help my little one grow. I'm realizing that I have a lot to learn. A lot. These milestones, all these things that he needs to be doing, all of that is new to me, even though I have been at core a mother. So putting both together, I can see this being a long time journey, and I can do both. And they help one another, to be honest with you, because also being that mom at home is helping me identify what really matters. And and seeing people through better. Because of time management, I also tried to be more laser focused on the idea and not go into the weeds too much with people or in certain conversations that might not take us anywhere. So I can only say that being a mother has helped me being a better mother at work too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you think the way when you say, being a mom now has helped me see things differently? How has being a mom helped you see yourself differently? Like once you remove the Ainhoa that a lot of us admire, myself included, that has so many accolades. To me, you're like, I want to be like you in business, right? You're so organized, you're so intentional, you put attention to detail. And I've known this space of you and I've known this side of you. But what do you think motherhood has brought out of you now that you're navigating these waters? Do you feel like different, that you're showing up differently?
Well, thank you for all those things that you say about that side of me. But I want to be very real and honest. And this is not just to be here poised and sharing a message. I am a hot mess a lot of the times, everywhere, not just at home, but at work too. I want to be real about this. If there's one thing that my son has brought to my life that I'm thankful for, is peace. I have been in this survival mode as an immigrant for a long time, since I was born, period. And finding peace, that's actually the word. When I look at him, I'm at peace. I've never felt that way anywhere.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that matters to me.
Yeah.
So I need to keep him alive and thriving and fed, because I do like how I feel. And being in this, thank you for being prepared ahead of time with this little thing here. Being able to stay in that space of peace, even if it's just moments, it helps me. I'm healthier.
That's good.
I'm happier. I'm more complete. And I've always said, okay, motherhood, I mean, sure, what an idiot. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, I know it all, right? No. Once you really become a mom, you know this.
Yeah.
And there are so many difficult parts too, but the most beautiful one and the most important one is the peace.
Mm-hmm. Before we skip out of this topic, I want to ask you something, because I feel like, for me, I had my first child at 23. Mm-hmm. How old were you when you had your son?
35.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So do you want to share a little bit of what it was to find out you were expecting and that part of the journey? Because that Ainhoa that was expecting, she was like laser focused, business. Yes, you were dealing with, I think that you were already in your journey of like finding and healing and all of this stuff, right? But I do think that Ainhoa that found out she was having this beautiful baby. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about how she felt and what you could tell her now if you could go back in time?
Okay, well, I need more of this. I was an ignorant. Let's just start there. I was not happy when I found out I was pregnant. It was a lot of mixed feelings. I knew I wanted to be a mom at some point, but this was not planned. And now I feel a little bit of the guilt, when I go through that guilt of not embracing the journey as a pregnant woman. I had no difficulties at all in my pregnancy. Didn't vomit once. Didn't even have a simple headache. None of it. Karma gave it back to me at delivery time. But I was an ignorant. because I was focusing so much on the superficial part of life. I thought I could control timing at all times. Dealing with grief is very hard, especially if it comes with a long, heavy, big, guilty luggage. So it's difficult. And I thought I needed a little bit more time to go through this grieving, to go through this healing. It was time to put in time in my team, to set up to review our foundation, to work on me, to do more investing. Like, I really thought at that time I was fixing all the broken parts of that I have been carrying for a long time. Well, that's why I said I was an ignorant, because he did help me fix these parts.
Yeah.
I just, when the news came, I thought I had anemia and I needed vitamin D. Oh my God. The doctor said, no, you're fine. You're fine. You're just 6 weeks pregnant. And I said, oh, that's nice. And I left and I cried so much. And then during my whole pregnancy, I was upset about being pregnant. Ignorant.
But you know what? It's one of those, when you hear people say that, what you want and what you need are two different things.
Yeah.
And
I hope we have one little shot of no tissue in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do we have more tissue? And I think that this is a perfect example of how I'm a person of faith. And I believe that God is always working in the behind the scenes for us. And I remember that time. And I remember when you told me, I don't know if you remember what I said, but I was like, I was ecstatic for you.
I do remember. It was at America's in Oak Park.
Yes.
I remember what I was wearing.
I was so ecstatic for you because I was like, thank you, Lord Jesus. This is going to fix probably 99% of her heart, because I just know what motherhood does, because it did it to me. I was just a lot younger. So I knew that baby Zane was going to come with so much love for you and so much healing. So even when you were fussy about it, I was like, she'll be fine. She this is going to be behind her soon. And of course, you're an excellent mom. You're doing even more than I've ever done in terms of preparing yourself for him every single day, not just thinking of him getting here, but I see you do it every single day. You do it with so much grace. So I'm happy that, that you have him in your life, and that this new version of you has come to play, because I mean, I'll say it over and over again. I think motherhood amplifies all the already awesome skills that you have and who you are as a woman. But then it challenges you, because when you think you can do more, you do 1,000 things extra. So it's honestly beautiful. But I wanna bring the conversation back to the part of the reason why you were in that state prior to baby Zane getting here. And that is, you said it earlier, I feel like I've been an immigrant all my life, right? And I think that unless you've really walked the journey of walking away from everything, your family, your home, your culture, the smells, and you embark on this quest to find a better life for yourself, I think that for me, one of the biggest heartbreaks in my life was building myself with courage to leave my hometown, my mom, my siblings, thinking that I was going to a place where I was going to be somehow better off or accepted, and landing in the airport and only realizing that I felt even more lonely than when I left my home. And I started a different journey, very different journey. Another type of loneliness when I came to America. And I know that we all immigrants, we share that, all of us. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter why you came. It doesn't matter how you got here. I think that nobody leaves their home thinking or not wishing they could just stay. I just really, truly believe that, unless you're just an adventurous person. But people don't just get up and leave because they have it figured out at home. What is it to you? You came here at such a young age. What of that journey do you feel like it was the harshest reality for you?
Well, I'm going to start by saying thank you to my parents for not feeding me with fear when I was a kid. That allowed me to grow in curiosity, because even though I agree with your statement about why you leave your country and everything you know home behind, but for me, it was also the adventurous part.
Yeah.
I have to say, I was very curious to see the world. And I have had my why very clear since I was a little girl. So that kind of the curiosity, the no fear in me by my parents, and that big why pushed me to take that flight. And I didn't know a single person in Chicago, in America. I didn't have any money. I don't know if I look back, I don't know if I would do it again. I would. But like at this age, I think it's good. I think it's good that we did it so young, because our fear and our limits and all of these, safety nets and all these things, I think they also come with time and maturity. So I'm glad I did it. Now, I've always said, since very little también, I'm very independent. Always been very independent. That's right. I've never knew independence. If you're saying what was my realization about, or the harsh reality, the real independence and courage comes when you find yourself miles and miles an ocean away on your own. And if you do not show up for yourself on a minute base, you could be homeless by nighttime. You have no one to come and fix anything for you. You cannot call mom or dad. They can't help.
Anyone.
Nobody. I had no couch to crash on. If plan A didn't work out, I would be in Michigan Avenue with a little pancarta. Please help.
Yeah.
So that's when the real independence and courage came in. When you realize that, well, you gotta start working. You gotta start doing these things for yourself. So I think that's the realization.
Do you feel like your independence is a superpower, or do you feel like it's something that you had to learn to soften over time?
Well, going back to the initial thought of what independence was, or when I realized what independence really was, I can say that independence has this dark side, if you want to call it like that, because it has a lot of pressure. It has a lot of pressure because now your independence ratio or level is not the same. It's never the same. It's more. How am I more independent if I have investment properties? How am I more? And like it's a pressure. It's a dark side. It doesn't allow sometimes to ask for help. So independence is un arma de doble filo.
Kind of morphs, right? Like you start off of it with as a tool to push you through, and like you said, kind of like that survival mode part of your life. But then if I feel like I can relate to that, and I think like just a couple of years ago, as a woman, immigrant, and somebody that's worn many hats, I feel like independence, that independent mindset, it definitely is what got me to reach a lot of the goals in my life, but it also has been something that grew inside of me as something that I had to like crack and soften and just be a little bit less. I feel like I kind of grew resentful at some point on some of those
1000%.
parts, like resentful, a little bitter, I would even say. And I feel like just now I'm starting to have it have the impact that it's supposed to have, right? Versus taking over a big part of my personality in a sense, for lack of better words. So as I say this, would you, for somebody that has gone through a lot of being stuck at this mode, right? Mm-hmm. Is there anything that you wish you would have done differently, maybe at a certain space or phase in your life that where you feel like, man, I wish I would have tweaked it down here or there, or I wish I wouldn't have been so stuck on pushing through. And I realized, I don't know, anything.
Yeah. Never said this on camera, I'm going to say it today. I should have quit everything that I was doing in 2022, unplug and leave at that time to be a full-time caretaker for my mom. That's what I should have done. But because Miss Independent needed to do it all, I was going back and forth for a long time. Mm-hmm. I hired somebody taking care of her, buy all these things because I could from here, a new couch so she could be comfortable, all those things. But I should have quit.
Do you want to share with everyone? Because I don't think everybody knows who you're referring to or what you're referring to.
Mm-hmm. My mom left in 2022. December 7th. And she had cancer. And that year I had all these responsibilities. I was at the NARA board, president to be. Team lead, Latinas in real estate book, all of these things that I had said yes to. And when I say yes to something, I don't quit. I see it through. Could have been better, for sure. Could have done things better, yes. But at that time, I should have chose to leave. I was going every other month. So I was flying a lot. And, lost my hair, everything. It was...
it was a tough year.
It was tough. But the independence part kicked in there too.
You know what, friend? I think that, and I don't think I've ever shared this with you. I don't think I've ever shared this with anyone, actually. But
maybe this should be called Never Share Before.
Never have I ever. But when a little different, right? Because different circumstances and different relationship. But when I was 22, so I came here at 19, I left home because I was running away. My home was very broken and it didn't feel like a safe place for me. A lot of it had to do because I refer to him as my dad, as my stepdad. My stepdad was dealing with a lot towards the end of his life because he passed away when I was 22, but I still appreciated him and care for him a lot. But we had problems at home. So back home, it's, by the way, guys, if you're running away from home, America is a great place to do so because you can actually stand on your 2 feet, believe it or not. But back home, you don't have resources to even go out there and like figure it out on your own. Like it's tough, like you'll starve. But anyway, that was part of the big reason, that and my adventurous spirit, of course, right? Because I did also have like this fearless side of me. That's what kind of pushed me to like try to find a different space. But after I came here, my mom and my stepdad's health declined. And 3 years later, he passed away. And he passed away. Well, obviously, I was already here. I had an apartment, which is very established for, when you're coming here on your own. That was a big deal for me. And my younger sister, the second oldest in my family, she was here with me because ever since I left, and I will say that this is the part that independence that you talked about robbed me from. And it was, I didn't go back home for a really long time. And, oh God. And I also feel like,
all right, well, this is what we have.
I also feel like I also have a lot of guilt from not going back home sooner.
All right, this is cooler now.
You're going to split your tissue. Do you have more tissue? I can grab more tissue.
Chewing is caring.
I think that another thing that I like you, right? Like I was here, I was somewhat established. I remember my stepdad passed away, which I care for very much. And obviously my sisters were devastated. They were little. My brother at the time was 6. My sister at the time, she was, maybe 16. And then my other siblings in between in age. My mom was now a single mom, right? And, never worked a day in her life. Like she was taken care of by my stepdad. So that was a huge shift for her, alongside with losing, her person. And when it came down to sending my sister on the next flight over to fly back, because my stepdad had passed, like I barely had enough money to buy her ticket. And I remember that my residence card, because I was a resident when I first got here, it was expired. It had expired. So it wasn't as simple for me to just get up and go. But I wish I would have, because I didn't get to live that moment with my family. And it's something that marked us forever. And I didn't go because I was afraid of not being able to come back and not being able to like take care of the little that I had to work so hard to. I didn't go. And that's marked the beginning of a huge absence for me. And I think that because I didn't go back in that moment, I didn't allow myself to go back until I made it. And that's something that really like messes with your head, and you're so depleted and you don't know how to recognize what matters because you've ingrained it in your mind that you have to do certain things to deserve
that other family time,
that side. And it's tough, right? Like now when I look back, I'm like, what the hell? Like if that happened to anybody in my life right now, I'll be like, fuck everything and go back. Go be with your family. And as I will also say that comes with the solitude when you're an immigrant. Nobody around, I'm sure if somebody was around me, somebody would have told me, go, just go. But you're really alone. You're really alone, learning to make decisions on your own.
Who do you consult on that?
Yeah, so it's like, that is the tough part. That's the tough part. Not being here. I'll honestly say being in another country is fun. But when you find that your only friend is como lo decimos en español, es soledad. Y la soledad es la que te aconseja. Y la soledad es la que te guía. You end up spending more time with her than you should. So, it was a rough time. And I think until now that I'm 40, just last year, I decided to let go of the role of being a parent to my siblings because I became their parent for a long time because I took on that role probably because of guilt.
Yeah.
And just recently, I think we talked about it, right? Like about a year ago, I was like, they're my siblings. They're not my children. And I need to just let go a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, all of that is the price we pay. So not without getting too political here, but obviously right now we're going through a really rough time, right? And I think that people that have never experienced what immigration is and what it does to an individual,
but children being separated to their parents physically like this and all this stuff, it's not needed.
Yeah. No, it's not
An
okay.
idea. It has an agenda. It's okay. I'll leave it there.
Well, let's take this back to
Well, we came
you
to
being
do.
an entrepreneur. So, love that you have seen, love that you're experiencing all of these new first moments. But I want you to share a little bit, especially for all those ladies out there, right? Because now we know that it is okay to welcome motherhood at whatever stage. You're young. She was not as young. I think she cried more than I did when I was 23 and I found out I was pregnant. I'll be real. Probably because I didn't know better. But anyway, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And I was in the beginning stages of my life too. But how do you, if you can even call it, right? How do you feel like this grind culture, especially in real estate, and by the hand of your very new motherhood journey, has shifted the way you see business now? Is there a change in the way you see success and or fulfillment versus how you used to think about it before?
Yes. Yes and yes and yes to all the questions that you put in one. I want to do bigger things. I want to accomplish so much more. I want the team to grow to new heights. All of those things are there. My desire, my ambition, my career-driven persona is there. And it's only getting stronger. My son is 8 months old. I didn't take time off. I was doing breastfeeding, Zoom call with the team, just kind of like covering like this so I could handle and still be in our Monday morning meeting while doing. So there's one thing to call it one thing is I'm working on this. It's absolutely no perfect. But I'm learning to separate. When I am at work, I am that persona. I am that driven individual, a lot more focus. My ambition is there. I find me again. I love it. But when I'm home, I do not give about work at all. I will not pick up the phone. I will not, I don't even have my phone with me. Like most of the time, I just have it plugged in the bathroom for the next day so it's fully charged so I can go and work. But when I'm home, there's no 24/7 agent here. No.
Good, I love that for you.
El sol sale para todos. I remember I say that all the time. It's a sentence that I heard you saying years ago. There's clients for everybody.
Yeah.
And I do have leverage, and I do have clients referrals, and I do have ideas and all of these to make it work. And I'm going to not prove it to anybody but my son and me and my family, who I really, truly care. I'm done showing the world what I can do. I have not even done half of what the world thought I could do. I don't care. All I care is that my son feels inspired. And when he looks, he says, yep, she didn't have to choose between me and her career. She's doing it all. And I'm doing it. And I will continue to do it. And if it takes me longer to get to other heights, that's okay. I only get this amount of time with my son. And I've heard many mothers complain or suffer or have guilt about all the time they have not given to their children. And out of respect to them and that lesson that I learned from them, I'm going to give it all to my son. And I love it. I love it.
And you know what? I do believe that it's timing, right? I think timing, even though in the moment maybe we weren't, and I say we because I was thinking about you, but we weren't thinking about it. Like you did a lot of building before Saint got here. Obviously, just doing the best that you were doing at that moment. But I think that one of the things that I would really, or the advice I would give any mom, especially if you're in real estate, I'm sure all industries are the same, but the difference between leading with ego versus leading with purpose is tremendous. And there's nothing wrong. We all have an ego. I have it. I clipped into my ego for a lot of seasons of my career, but I can definitely say that getting to that space where you're intentional of what you're doing and why you're doing it and who you're doing it for, it's a blessing. And I see a lot of people, get burned through the grind, for the grind culture, which there's a season for that. Let me tell you, especially in real estate, you do have to put in your hours, okay? Because it's not going to get handed to you. But I do think that in every stage of your growth, you do have to align anything and everything you're doing with purpose, because you don't want to not be able to go spend time with your mom who's ill. You don't want to not be able to go back home and bury your father. You don't want to not be able to remember, a certain time frame in your kids' lives, because it happened to me, like 2020 to all the way to like 2023. Like, granted, there was a lot happening, right? Like market, COVID, but there were some spaces in those years that I'm like, my daughter will bring something up and be like, no, we did this or we did that. And like, I don't remember because I wasn't present. And yes, I'm glad that you say that. I'm glad that you're learning from all the stories of all of us that did it right or do it wrong. And I think that's what makes you a very smart woman, that you
Whatever, Maggie. I don't have it all figured out either.
no, but that you're learning from what everyone.
yes.
We have a very good circle around us.
Yeah.
We have great support. We have a lot of women that maybe we don't see every day, but like when you pay attention, you pay attention.
I see them.
Yes, that's a gift.
Yeah.
To learn from others, it is a gift. So I think that's one of your biggest qualities, actually. So I'm glad that you're, I'm glad that you're where you are. And
It's a choice.
Yeah.
It's a choice. And I choose my son.
Yeah.
It's a choice.
And you know what? Leadership.
It's a choice too.
Yes, it's a choice. But wouldn't you agree? And we're probably going to have to do a part 2 for this one. But can we agree that leadership is definitely a gift to be able to exercise the choice of staying home, the choice of going on vacation, the choice of pouring into others to grow? We're probably not going to have time to elaborate on that one.
Right.
But I definitely do think we need to do another episode just
Maybe
to
when
speak
we're
leadership.
not crying, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But Ainhoa, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for showing up, for being vulnerable with me. Thank you for saying yes, because I know
I had a choice.
You had a choice. And I really appreciate you, friend. And I'm very happy for you. And you look great. And I do see a little sun kiss. So
Because I went to Naples.
because she went to Naples. She just got back yesterday. So I'm super lucky that she's here today. So thank you for everything. Do you have any final thoughts for our guest?
Thank you for putting this space together and for allowing other moms to share. Choose your happiness. And I know it's so cliche, but tomorrow is not granted.
Yeah. Amen. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.